Uh, yeah, you can do that quick, but we live though. We
We
are
live.
live. Yeah,
What's up,
yeah.
people? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's cracking? We back for another episode of the Over 30 Podcast. Thank y'all for everybody that will be joining us. I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Actually, let me share it from my phone. Share it from my
Okay.
phone as y'all come in. Make sure y'all say
Video.
what's up. Please like the video as you come in. Share the video. Say what's up to the host. We got the
What's up,
holistic
y'all?
expert in the building.
I love it. I love that title. I don't even need
Yeah,
to like.
the
I'm not
holistic
refuting.
expert. Yeah.
I love
Hey
the
man.
title. I'm gonna
Hey,
keep
I
it.
mean, cause listen, the knowledge was broke down last week. The knowledge was
It was
broke down.
live.
Like
It was lit last week.
niggas learned about
Um,
themselves. Like shit, niggas. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I became a better person just by being more. You know what I
Got
mean?
some motivation.
You
Yeah,
feel
it
me?
was. It was
It's
lit. I
some
liked it
understanding. You know what I mean?
for real.
Chrissy said I'm 27. Can I watch? Yes, Chrissy. Actually, you could watch so you can learn something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we can learn you out
Learn
here,
something from your
Chrissy.
elders because we got some interesting things to talk about. Uh, we definitely got to talk about Meg Thee Stallion and the Tory Lane situation. Because I need your perspective as a black woman. So
Mm.
we definitely got to talk about that. And then
It's
we got the over 30 question of the week. We got the over 30 question of the week, and it was actually supposed to
okay.
be the question of the week last week. But since all y'all wanted to hear was motherfucking
It got
natal
it got
chart,
it got too lit last week.
you know what I'm saying? So we couldn't get into the information, but I mean, we got into the information though. So, as
What we
y'all come
needed
in,
to.
again, go ahead, like and share that. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna do that myself.
I'm gonna
And
go
then
ahead and share that too. I'll be right back.
and we'll get it started briefly now. Well, while she's sharing it, since it was so much love shown last week, we are probably like either once or twice a month. We're gonna do natal chart readings. Just give you a little piece. Cause our holistic expert Tisha is actually a real, like, she do this for real life. You know what I mean? And I mean, but you gotta cut the check. You gotta pay a little something. You feel me? So what we want to do is we want to give y'all a piece of her skills. So at least twice a month, or up to twice a month, at least once a month. What we're gonna try to do is we doing natal charts, just a little piece, just telling you about yourself. And then if you really want to get deep into it, she has the capacity to really give you the breakdown. She got to charge you for that one. But if you want a quick reading, you know what I'm saying, you want to know just more about your personality, your characteristics. If you want to understand a little bit more, something about yourself, come to our natal chart readers because she really do. You know what I'm saying? She really know what she's doing. She really know what she's doing. So as we get it shared, y'all make sure y'all share it as well. And if y'all was able to get y'all natal chart read, let us know in the chat. Let us know how much you appreciate it. And we gonna be doing more. But once Tisha get back, we gonna go ahead and get it to the show. Like I said, we're gonna start it out talking about the over 30 headlines. We talking about over 30 headlines, and we got to talk about Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Yes, the over 30 headline today would be Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, because I want to hear from a sister, like, literally how she feel about it. Cause I mean, it's a lot of language, a lot of rhetoric, how a lot of niggas moving when it comes to this situation about talking about the sister specifically is off big time. And so once Tisha get back, we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break that down. So y'all bear with us just a moment. Because technology and all of that other shit, you know. But I mean, hey, in terms of what's happening, y'all let it be known. The over 30 question of the week, we talking about black men and happiness, the society in general value the happiness of black men. We talking about it. Now, please, before we get into it, because that's gonna be our question of the week, let it be understood that we are not making any statements just by asking that question. We just asking the question. You know what I'm saying? We just asking the question. I mean, we're gonna have our own answers. We got our own feelings. We got our own perspectives. We're gonna get into that as well. But uh, ultimately, it's worth it. It's worth it. So we're gonna give the sister some time to get back in here. As I start, there we go.
All right. Oh God, I hate when it hit. This happen.
I was able to start long enough. And then she left again. But it's all good. She gonna be in here. We getting the technical things worked out. Y'all see she got her mic and we, you know what I mean? We getting it, we upgrading, we stepping it up. This only episode 8. Let me go ahead and add that in there. This is over 30 podcast, episode 8. We back.
We back. I'm sorry. I was man.
Nah, I already blamed
Technology.
you. It's good. They already know it's your
Technology.
technology fault.
My
You know what
technology. Every
I'm
time
saying?
I come back on from doing that, it is blank. I can't hear. My audio is jacked.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta run through the whole thing. But
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
good. Hey, shout out to StreamYard. They upgrading they shit, but this is the software that we use. Hey, cause actually, yo, I got a fucking announcement. I'm tripping. Shout out to cousin Mike in the building. I got an announcement. We
What's
are
up,
on YouTube.
Mike?
We are on
We
YouTube. The Over 30 podcast on YouTube.
we are
Follow
on
the page.
YouTube.
Subscribe
Follow
to
our page, share our page,
the- Yeah. The
subscribe to
Over
our
30
page.
podcast on YouTube. It's that easy. All you gotta do is go to YouTube, put in the Over 30 podcast and you're gonna see us there. We actually streaming live. So if you don't want to sit on your phone, if you don't want to burn your battery, you want to hop on over to the YouTube, want to hop on over to the computer, we are streaming live on YouTube as we speak. First time, Over 30 Podcast. We in here.
Let's get it.
All right, so we gotta share. Let's go ahead and get into the show.
Let's
Um
get it. I'm
now
ready for the
first, how was
show.
your weekend? How was your weekend?
My weekend was beautiful. I took a little trip, a little small getaway for my daughter's birthday. We
Right, right. So tell the
went to
people
a
about
little beach.
the beach that you went to
Went to
in
coronavirus beach. No, we went to Fugitive Beach, man. It was cool. It was cool. Look, cool little getaway.
That's
About
what's
4 hours away.
That's what's up.
And my daughter, she goes like, I got all that. She was like, I got a computer for my birthday. I went out of town. I had a birthday party. I need one more thing.
Well,
I
hey,
said, what?
at least she knew she gave you that. You know, just one more. I just need.
One more thing. I
That's what's
said, you
up.
better get out of my face.
That's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to her. Glad she was able to have a wonderful birthday. But let's get into this. Let's get into these over 30 headlines. Get into some
Yeah.
real information.
All right.
Unfortunately, we got to talk about some bullshit though. And the over 30 headline for today is this nigga really shot her.
Mm.
Like, he did that. And that's the Meg the Stallion and Tory Lane situation. So recently, Meg the Stallion came out and confirmed that Tory Lane shot her. And a part of the reason why she was confirming that was because she felt that his team were pushing a certain narrative that she was uncomfortable with, even after she shielded him from the police. So the initial reports that came out about her getting cut and all of those things were things that she did specifically to protect Tory Lanez in terms of criminal charges and that type of shit. And in the light of her doing that, she feels that he is now trying to shape a narrative that paints him in a better light and all of that shit. And so she's like, nah, fuck that. You shot me. So with that being said, now that we got a full understanding, recap of the situation, as a black woman, what is this? This scenario? What speaks to you?
This speaks to me on so many different levels as a black woman. First of all, what all was going on, it's like a little bit embarrassing, like
Embarrassing. What you
we
mean?
just we just went through so many historical events that took place this summer. Um, and then just to actually basically be taught our history, because it seemed like we went through a phase of teaching our history and we seemed like we was coming together on a lot of things, you know what I mean? It's like then this happened. It's like a reverse effect. It's like we went backwards. We took 20 steps backwards. And it's like I don't know the whole story.
What you mean when you say we was going through like we was learning about our history?
I
Like you
mean,
talking about like
with the
George
George
Floyd?
Floyd, with all the things that took place this summer, it seemed like we were actually having a good camaraderie as far as people and actually coming together and actually learning the history that was lied to or watered down to us. And
You know what? It's funny that you say that because my mama been fucking me up recently. She been
what you been doing?
I'm gonna show y'all this meme that my mama sent me, or not even. She just texted to me one morning. No reason. 9:30 a.m. This is what she sent me.
And she said, "There is no European solution for African problems."
Like 9:30 in the morning. Listen, and then
Hey,
and she up there. She now we having conversations about her saying, well, she wished she didn't teach us Christmas and all the other bullshit when we was kids. And so
wow,
yeah,
wow,
it's
wow,
like
wow.
you. So I can agree with that. I can confirm that this
Yeah,
it was a shift.
it
And you
was.
say and so you saying you feel like this type of news kind of dampens that.
It's like now what do they say? Like and then like we went from, you know, those events to happen to actually stand talking about protecting black women. Now it was a protection against black women. It was a situation where a woman um, was murdered around that time. And there's a lot of things with women happening around that time simultaneously to this George Floyd situation. Then we're
So
talking about the protection of black women.
arrest the officers that killed Breonna Taylor. You know we got to say that.
Absolutely, we have to say that. Have to say that.
Yeah.
Please, don't sleep on that. Stay consistent with that. But yeah, we was talking about protection of black women, and I thought we was moving into a direction like we was probably about to get some armies,
Yeah,
built
like
up
niggas
for us. Yeah, yeah, we have
felt
some
like niggas
soldiers.
like, oh, I think we got it now. I think we understand
Yeah, I
the
think we got
situation
some
that
so,
this is in. Yeah.
and then boom, somebody infiltrated the system. We
Yeah, this
had we,
Canadian
we had
nigga.
we had a 4'5" Canadian leprechaun. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but like it's just like he came in and he infiltrated the system, and now it's like we have to build our way back. And I feel for Meg the Stallion and all the other women that dealt with domestic violence, and that is domestic violence. I don't care
Oh,
how you try to
without.
flip it, is definitely domestic violence.
And you know
But
what? To
then
it. Oh no, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go
But then it kind of, it went left.
ahead.
The situation went left. I mean, it went from protecting women to domestic violence to getting shot to snitching.
Yo, which we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Now, I do wanna add this to what you said because I think it's extremely important what you brought up. As we move through this time where we're doing things like crying for justice and demanding justice for Breonna Taylor, and I mean still demanding justice for the Sandra Bland's and the names
Mm,
that we don't say as much that
mm-hmm,
we that's not always on the tip of our tongue or
mm-hmm,
on a news headline. What I think needs to be understood is that when it the the question of how we react to Breonna Taylor and the question of how we react to Meg The Stallion comes
mm-hmm,
from the same positioning.
mm,
It's on a spectrum, so it's not the exact same thing, right? Like what happened
right.
to Breonna Taylor is an extreme example, right? Like they took her life, and what
Absolutely.
happened to Meg The Stallion wasn't as extreme, but it could have been
Right.
because he shot her,
Absolutely. Could have
right? Like
been.
it could have been like the fact that she was shot in the foot is just a blessing. When we talk about gunplay at all, that could have went left all the way, and
Absolutely.
so as we talk about one like saying like what we need to do to protect black women and having more of a focus on protecting black women, one thing that we can't do, which we'll talk about right now, is have the public response that we've
Mm,
had, because the how legitimate the conversation is about Breonna Taylor, it's directly connected to the legitimacy of
go ahead. Give me a second. Sorry. Give me a
no,
second.
hey, no problem, no problem. It's family time. It's family
Mm,
time.
go ahead.
So it's hard to talk to niggas about what we need to do about Breonna Taylor and understanding the predicament that she was in, that Sandra Bland was put in, that Corinne Gaines was put in, and then turn around and say, well, man, Meg is tripping. You feel me? Like she that like that's what she get for fucking with them type of niggas and all of that type of shit. So it's like we undermine our ability to organize and strategize and focus and put our efforts for Breonna Taylor in every way, shape, form, or fashion when we could look at the situation with Meg The Stallion and had the type of response that we had. Because I do want to say this: the public response, like the conversation surrounding it, the fact that it's divided is extremely telling. You know what I mean? The fact that it's not a unified like this is how we are, like this is how we thinking about it, that's a huge problem. Because when it comes to our black women and when we talking about shit like domestic violence, the fact I mean we shouldn't be debating our response to it generally. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much you was able to catch it at, but if you want to chime in,
Yeah,
oh, like
I'm
because
here. I'm
now
here.
we
My
talking about
bad, people. I'm back. Had
like
a little
nah,
interruption.
yeah, it's all good. Um, but yeah, so the public response. How you feel about the public response? Like how people have talked about it. Do you
You
think?
know,
Uh, I mean, yeah. Just what's your perception of the public response?
the public response was very a very all over the place. I seen a lot of comparison. I seen a lot of things that's very like outlandish, so to speak. I even seen her getting compared to Takashi 69 for her snitching. It's being considered snitching now for speaking up about domestic violence injustices.
How does that happen?
How
Like, how
does
does it?
that? How I'm baffled. Like it's that's what I say. Outlandish is the word. Like it was a reach to say the least. To get compared to it snitching for a black woman getting shot in the foot by a man after an altercation, a verbal altercation with him, a verbal altercation. Um, that uh, what? How do you feel? Like what is
Yeah, I
what?
mean, so I mean, my perception is this whole snitching thing. It don't even make sense in this context. I mean, first you got to think about the fact that the people involved already said, like essentially, what she has pointed out is that nigga, I lied for you, and you got people running around talking on the blogs saying that, you know what I'm saying, like trying to like putting me in this particular light.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel me? Like she don't at that point she don't owe the nigga nothing.
yeah.
It's like she don't owe the nigga shit,
No
and the fact that
loyalty.
niggas think that a victim of a crime is implicated in some criminal code associated with is fucking
Snitching.
ridiculous.
Not to
Is that-
mention, she tried to protect him twice. Like, not she tried to protect him from the initial time when she got shot. When the police arrived, she tried to protect him. And then she tried to protect him from media, the media outlets, and them getting the story and taking it and running with it, and how he would be perceived, and even in the counseling era we're in, being counseled, and his money and everything else being
I mean, so
compromised.
yeah, so that leads me to the next question: is he canceled? Is Tory Lanez in that R. Kelly range? You
I,
feel me?
hey, listen, look. We can't say R. Kelly name today. Not today. Of
Not
all
today.
days,
Not today.
this is
Really?
Aaliyah's death day.
Oh, right. My bad.
Hey,
My
shout
bad. My
out to
bad. Right.
Aaliyah.
Right.
This is
But I'm saying,
Aaliyah.
shit, that's why we canceled. Like,
Yeah,
that's why that
he's
is
done.
what he is.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Crazy. Prior to this, I did not know Tory Lanez.
Really?
I did not know a song. No.
He had that say it. He redid the say it joint. You knew that.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to do more than just say it. You don't have to do this when you do it.
That's him.
Yeah, that
You
was
know
him.
what? That's crazy because I can't put the face. If I hear a song, I just hear a song and I run with it. I kind of don't really,
And
you
then what
know.
was the other joint? Everyone falls in love
Look at
sometimes.
hey, the vocal keeps
Yeah,
skills is
nah,
coming.
nah, 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 nah. But that was his shit though. Yeah, because I was like, okay, he kind of cool. I felt like he was corny, like in general, just because. I mean, like I just got a problem with rapping it, like singing niggas trying to be rappers. I have a huge problem with
So he's
that.
a
You know what I'm
singer.
saying? Yeah, he's a singer.
Oh, I
Like
don't know why
he's
he
an
was
R
being
and B
referred to as a rapper.
because that's
I've
what he
heard people refer to him as a rapper, so I
that's
was
what
like,
he
he's a
yeah, nah,
rapper.
he's
Okay.
because he tries to rap. Like he tries to. I mean, he's
Oh.
a good rapper. It's because he can rap. Man, I won't take that away.
Mm,
It's because he can rap. That's why they call him a rapper. But the nigga's a singer. Like I said, his first what put
got
him
you.
on was that "Do It" or that the The
Gotcha. The say it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
yeah,
like I said, he's look. He's been canceled in my book. If you really want to go there, but now definitely, I don't have any type of intentions, especially not knowing him not issuing any type of apology, him allowing his publicists and his team to make statements before he's made a statement or issued any type of apology on this matter. I don't know what she received in private, but it seems like she didn't receive anything. However, for it to spiral out of control like this and him not saying anything shows what kind of stand-up man he really is. So I know it's a very chaotic and tumultuous situation for him. However, it's if it spirals too much, he definitely. I think the culture is trying to cancel him. So
yeah, we got a comment. Mackie Rand said she didn't snitch. It wasn't a crime they committed together, and she told to get less time. She told on the person who shot her. That's facts. I think even amongst the criminal ilk, yeah, I mean, I
mm,
think even those niggas know like, yo, that's not like snitching. The only people who get called snitches are niggas who live that life. Civilians don't snitch. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I mean amongst the criminal code, like civilians don't snitch. They motherfuckers lives to live. If you would snitches
exactly.
snitches is the niggas that's sitting around that's doing the shit, and then when they gotta sit down, like that nigga Takashi 69 acted like he was a fucking gangbanger, got arrested. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that they even
Then he
draw
snitched. Absolutely, it is not even associated with the two.
not even close. And like
Yeah.
niggas smoking dope and dog food. Any nigga that you seen on social media. You can say the niggas on the Over 30 podcast said it. Any niggas you seen on social media talk like sharing anything comparing Tekashi 69 to Meg Thee Stallion should be fucking reported to black people.
Hey, we
Fuck that.
about it. We said
Yeah,
it. Say it
yeah. You know
again. Say it
what I'm saying?
again.
That's smoke for niggas. Like that's bull. That's reckless shit. Nigga, we can't talk about justice for Breonna Taylor and then call Meg Thee Stallion a snitch.
A snitch.
How the fuck that work?
That doesn't work. It's a double standard.
You
Double
know what I'm saying?
standard.
Let me ask you
It's
this
like,
before we move
go
on
ahead.
to the next joint. Well, go ahead, finish your statement. You can
No, go
finish your
ahead. I'm
thought on that.
good. Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
good.
do you think it's fair? Because this has been coming up. Do you think it's fair for Chris name to be brought up in this situation?
You know what? I caught that. I didn't know what was going on with that situation and how he was associated with it
Well, I
until
think it
he
was
went
just
on his rant.
yeah, it was just domestic violence. I didn't because
Domestic
I didn't know
violence.
that people was associating him in that conversation.
I
Um,
think it's spiraling out of control. It's definitely spiraling. It's reaching for any type of thing, and it's causing collateral damage. A lot of it,
so Chris
And I
Brown
think
name
Chris
being brought up.
Brown is definitely collateral damage. And I can see how he can be upset about it. However, he was someone that actually have a past of that, and it's more than one cases against him. With domestic violence, so sometimes you're gonna have to pay for some things, even if you sweep them under the rug. They're gonna resurface. I've
He
heard a
right.
lot of things come out, and a lot of women have been using their platform for domestic violence and a lot of things. I even heard the one woman just the other day, she came out about a man, one of the a celebrity beating her and breaking a toilet. I forget her name. She's like a basketball wife.
Yeah, it's been a lot of shit coming out about
Yeah.
Trey Songz too.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah, it's
hear
been a lot
that
of
one
shit
too.
coming out about Trey
Yeah.
Songz too. So it's
It's
like
it's
it's
it's a collateral damage.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because I feel like ultimately, I say this, and we can get into the question of the week.
Okay.
Ultimately, I feel like it's certain shit we just got to start addressing, and it's like it's certain shit we got to be on code about. And when it comes to our black women, like niggas got to be on code. And you got certain suck ass niggas out there that be talking about like this type of language, this type of rhetoric about being on code when it comes to black women, protecting black women. Niggas say that that's like simp language and all that other shit, but like that's a suck ass way to think about shit. To even say that. Like if you got any question in your mind about how you should orient yourself towards niggas that you know what I'm saying commit violence towards black women, like you a part of the problem. It ain't even no fucking
Yeah.
debate. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, like any if y'all while y'all on social media, anybody comparing to Tory Lanez or Meg Thee Stallion to motherfucking
Takashi,
Takashi 69. Yeah, I mean, block, do something. You know,
please.
antagonize them. Like they
Yes,
deserve to be
they
antagonized.
do.
And,
Tag
and
me in it. Actually, tag. Tisha,
right. Hey,
listen,
tag the Over 30 podcast. When
tag
you see
tag us.
anybody post any of that shit, tag the Over 30 podcast.
Tag
We'll
us.
take the smoke for you. We ain't
I
gonna turn
tag.
it into a
Listen.
whole like we ain't because I'll just be like you a dickhead, you an asshole. You know what I'm
Just
saying? Like
ridiculous.
it just leave
Ridiculous.
it at that. And
Ridiculous.
I do want to say shout out to Bun B and all of the nigga
Texas.
artists that came out and said Tory Lanez, you done deport that nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you got when you got like one of the OGs of Texas, like nigga, you done
Oh
for it.
yeah. You
Guys
done.
like
You
Canada, you
done.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so
She got protection. She definitely got some soldiers sticking up for her after the fact, and
that's,
that's real.
that's what we need. Now let's go ahead and get into the mess, the drama.
The meat and potatoes.
Uh, hey, so the over 30 question of the week today. Now, mind you, the question that we are asking isn't from an assumption. We really want to know because we both have
Definitely.
positions. We haven't shared those positions directly because we want to be able to have that conversation before here right now
You
naturally.
have an authentic one. Yeah.
Uh, right. So, but we're gonna get into this question of the week. Now, the question of the week is: does a man's happiness matter in a relationship or in society in general? Does a man's happiness matter in a relationship or in society in general? Now, you may ask yourself, "Oh yeah, duh, it does."
Yeah.
That's a stupid response, right? Because
Yeah.
if I was to say to you that one of the phrases that I've heard the most since I've been married is "happy life, happy wife."
Boo.
Yeah, but that's what niggas feel like. That I mean, like that's what you get told. Like, well, just make sure she's happy. Like, yeah, what about me though, motherfucker? Like, I be thinking
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
there is a legitimate conversation to be had. And plus,
Mhm.
when Tisha posted it on Facebook, it was kind of cracking, right?
It was cracking. I had a lot of people give their input and basically tell me a different perspective or different perspectives on how they view relationships. A lot of men, and I like that. I was very proud of the men chiming in and giving their input on that because that's really the where it comes from and then where it derived from. That male's perspective of how they really feel, and some of them are biased, because of one bad relationship. But
Yeah.
overall, but I got some facts. We're gonna get into some facts. We
Okay.
listen,
Okay.
I'm a
I mean, you see,
factualogical person, so I'm gonna talk facts.
right, right. I mean,
So
you see, she must got something because she
I got some
excited. She trying to
facts.
get
I'm
this shit.
excited. I'm
Well, look,
excited.
before we get into what you talking about, you know what I'm saying?
All
Before you
right.
fill out your facts,
All right.
uh, let's actually get into some of these comments that you've been collecting over the week.
All right.
Again, does a man's happiness matter in a relationship or in society in general? We're gonna get into a few of these. We're gonna start with Roderick. Now, what
Okay.
Roderick said was, in my opinion, men overall happiness is overlooked. All right, so your brother said it's overlooked. It took me a while to notice it, but without happiness, believe it or not, it only makes anger. I didn't have an in between, as you remember, sis. That is a we'll keep that between y'all. Still trying to figure out how to use the proper emotion for the situation, but because I wasn't happy in my relationship or in life, I walked around angry as shit all the time. I
Mm.
appreciate you, brother, for opening up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Shout out to my brother Roderick.
Shout out to
Shout
Roderick.
out to my brother.
Because ultimately what he's speaking from is like saying like men one we ain't even really allowed to express our emotions like that. I mean, I'm gonna say allowed. I'll say we aren't. It's not encouraged.
Yeah.
Men aren't encouraged as much. Would
Encouraged.
you agree?
Mhm.
So when from your brother's perspective, I mean, and you even not divulging details, but
Mhm.
from the situation that he's talking about, from what he's saying, is he is he spot on to say that in that there was a lack of happiness and a
I
focus on that happiness?
I agree. I think society in relationships they romanticize them to the point where it's more deemed to what the happiness of a woman. Like Valentine's Day is made for women's happiness. I mean, obviously, people like men don't get things on Valentine's Day. That's a woman's holiday. I've heard that, and it's a national holiday. and it's primarily deemed towards the benefit of a woman
Mhm.
receiving the love on that day. And then they have phrases like the happy wife, happy life. Now, I think that society does that in movies and all kinds of things, just create that narrative that women should be or should be catered to more in a relationship, and men have a certain role as well. And his role is deemed towards, basically a provider, a leader, someone that's strong and someone that's catered to. And they actually put a little feminine aura around um actually being happy, like it's actually a woman's thing. Like, oh
Yeah,
man, got to be hard, he have to have
gotta be tough and shit.
testosterone and tough,
Yeah.
and he got a poker face all the time. And if he's happy, it's just like, what's going on, you got to be serious. This is a you're supposed to be a leader, and leaders are not happy. So yes, that is true. They put them in movies and shows and all kinds of things, and it makes the man begging the woman, the man crying to the woman, the man wanting the woman, the man buying flowers for the woman, the man buying chocolates for the woman, the man, all the stuff is deemed towards trying to make her happy. I do get it. However, there are things that society do to make men happy. They just have to pay attention. And I got those deeds.
All right, so the next one we got Marcus. Marcus said nope, because if we gonna be happy, everybody around us gotta be happy. Hmm.
mm, mm.
He's saying no, no, it is
So,
not a
what is
man.
your take on that? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, when he says no like that, I mean, because I'm gonna get more into like my specific answer, but I think he's spot on, to frame it that way. For Marcus to frame it that way, it's an easy note, because that, like, essentially that is what we taught. Like, in
Mm,
order, like, a man's happiness is centered around whether or not the people around him is provided for, and whether or not they
mm.
happy. And so
Wow.
when you ask a man about his happiness, a real man, like, from the way that is brought up to us, a man is gonna say, "No, my happiness don't matter. I'm supposed to put my
Wow.
happiness second to everybody else. That's what a man does."
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
he's spot on. And I think that another comment that you thought was interesting, um, Reese here says, "I put my family's happiness before mine. It's just how it
Mm,
is, and I'm good with it." So, like, when he's saying it's just how it is, like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a man. I'm a
mm,
provider. And so if
mm.
I can look and see that my family is provided for and they're happy, then that means I've done my job.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
That's
what's your
pretty.
thoughts
That's
on
pretty deep. For that, I really think that's deep because it also goes back to saying that they associate providing to making them happy, which is influenced and taught by and influenced by society. So I think that's one huge thing associating with, if my family is well taken care of, then I am happy. And that is what their happiness is tied to, as opposed to their personal own subjective reasons to be what makes them happy or why they're happy. It has to be associated and tied to providing and being a leader and all those other attributes that make up a man in society.
Right. That shit is in
So
that, like, that's it. So
it's
let's get
crazy.
some perspective from the sisters. JC Carroll says, in relationship, yes to certain people, but I feel society, hell no. We are drilled with happy wife, happy life, which make a lot of women think because her man is making her happy that he's happy. Literally, women will not. Let me go through. Literally, women will not mentally check on their spouses because they just assume since he's doing everything right that he's cool. And I mean, I think she's agreeing with what we saying in terms of
Yeah.
society not really putting that value there. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you don't see that happening. So she would even agree with the brothers. I do think what
Mm-hmm.
she did here is interesting and fair when she says yes to certain people,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't say that like, no woman does that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. So that's
But
I like that because it was super unbiased. She actually allowed it to know that it was definitely to a certain group of people, to an esoteric group, but also for her, I like the fact that uh we spoke a little bit more on that actual thread. But for her, it was more of you know women do things to try to keep up with the narrative of how to keep a man happy as well. So, and they're doing it all wrong, like you know, uh, getting fake and getting butt injections and all these things, thinking that that can make a man happy instead of actually asking him what makes you happy. You know,
Yeah.
they think what society has told a woman what makes a man happy by getting bigger boobs and getting a bigger butt and being more appealing because this is what the rappers talking about in the songs and talking about the I want a bad chick and I want some drink, I want some alcohol, I want this, and they
Yeah.
think those things is gonna make them happy, or the infamous one, the cooking is the easiest way to a man's heart. That's funny to me. I hate that one, but
I mean, but essentially, like
cooking.
you, like everything that you speaking on, you hitting the nail directly on the head. And just saying that even women have been told what men want. So it's not even what
Absolutely.
that man wants specifically. Is well, this is what I think he wants,
Yeah,
right?
what
And so
society
you
has taught me. Yeah,
and people operate off of that. Another sister
absolutely.
said, "Sorry, but it is a complete illusion that a woman's happiness is placed above and beyond a man's happiness in society or therefore in a relationship. This
Mm,
is a man's world." Shout out to James Brown. Patriarchy dictates that any and everything cater to his desires and his needs first and foremost. That is why he makes more money for the same job. He is not oppressed by his sex and is not sexually objectified because of it. He is not
mm.
exploited for access to his body, and he does not have to fight to have his rights protected against women. And this is all over the world. That was she said a handful.
Yeah, hey, that was loaded. That was
Yeah.
real loaded. I like that comment.
Uh-huh.
And that's my take on it, honestly. She said what I felt, and I'm glad hers was actually last, because that is definitely how I feel. I agree wholeheartedly, 100% with that. Also, I agree with JC a lot too. Like I said, she made a lot of points to how women may think we know what makes a man happy instead of asking him personally. But that was very this world was built off of making men happy and putting men in leadership roles and actually doing things. The Bible is basically written just to make a man happy. It's very seldom do you see what men should do in the Bible to make a woman happy. The woman has a they always talk about Proverbs 31. I mean, it's so many different things in the Bible that's catered to man's happiness. How a man can have more wives and a woman can't. How a man can't have a woman can't have more husbands. How a woman's supposed to act. How she's not supposed to exert dominion over a man. How she's supposed to be meek and humbled, and how she's supposed to cook and clean and treat her husband a certain way, and they enforce that, and it's embedded in our heads in church and everything, how
Yeah.
we should grow up and be maternal and have all these type of nurturing qualities for our man to cater to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
But you know what?
definitely.
I'm gonna throw a little curveball in.
Oh, I like curveballs.
Now to be clear, I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm not gonna
All
play
right,
devil's advocate. I think that's a
all right,
stupid fucking position to take.
all
Why advocate for the devil?
right.
But anyway, um, I'm gonna do this. I think also the part that we miss out when we talk about patriarchy, specifically in these type of instances, is the men that are saying that their happiness isn't put first or that it's not valued are victims of patriarchy because
Mm,
they are taught that their happiness lies in these like weird notions of what a man is, and
mm,
it is those artificial understandings and those patriarchal perspectives of what a man is that is robbing a man of even thinking he should focus on his happiness. Like the brothers that was like, nah, my happiness don't come first, it's my family's, right? Like um one thing that I won't say that they wrong for putting their family first, but ultimately to think that your happiness doesn't matter as well, right? Like because
right.
if singularly, like one thing that your brother spoke to was I wasn't happy as a person, so it
Mm-hmm.
was hard for me to do everything else. And so when we talk about patriarchy, we also have to remember how there are certain narratives and understandings that are created that men abide to from that patriarchal perspective, that's
Mhm.
dangerous to them. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And when it comes to a man's happiness, this is one of them. That like how we told not to value that. But now that we got those out the way,
Mm.
I want to give
Oh
I want to
boy.
give you the opportunity to go off. So I'm gonna give my answer first.
Go
I'm gonna give my answer
go
first.
ahead. Let's hear it. I need to
Because I
sit
mean
up
you
for this one.
because I didn't come as prepared. I didn't come with the notes as a black man. You feel me? I was just gonna speak from experience.
Okay.
So let's do it
It's
like
always
this.
the best
To
notes to
answer the to
have.
and I mean to everybody watching, go ahead. What y'all like? Yes, no. What y'all think is a man's in society? Does a man's happiness matter in a relationship or in society in general? Let us know. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Over 30
Subscribe.
Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Over 30
Ow.
Podcast on YouTube. Also, if you're not following the page, make sure you follow the page, all of that. But to get into it, um, a man's happiness is yes and no. It's yes
Mm.
and no.
Okay.
Um, pleasing a man. Pleasing a man. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna say yes and no. I ain't even gonna play defense like that. I'm gonna be fair.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. A man's happiness
Wow.
does not matter in a relationship or in society
Wow.
in general. This is what I
Oh.
mean by that. Pleasing a man is different from a man being happy.
Okay.
Pleasing a
Yeah.
man is
Yeah. You gotta
different.
elaborate on that one. You
Yeah,
gotta.
I so
Yeah.
when I say
Yeah.
pleasing a man is different from a man being happy, is that like you said, when you get the examples of how women are taught to please a man, or how, what women are taught to believe makes a man happy, right? It's those sexualized things.
Mhm.
The lingerie. It's the surgeries. It's the what I'm saying, the assets. You feel me? All
Mhm.
of that.
Mhm.
But what that has to do is that plays into like this like the sexualization of the woman anyway. You feel me?
Mhm.
And that sexualization is done out of pleasure,
Mhm.
right? The man as a person, the man as a person himself is assumed to derive pleasure out of that experience, and then we say okay, so that pleasure makes him happy.
Mm.
But if you think about it like this, even that, even that becomes dangerous because when we look at like homosexuality, you
Mm.
know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
gay black men, trans black men, or trans black women, you feel me, are put in situations where what they're supposed to derive pleasure from, they don't. And then and some even straight black men, like straight men who aren't overly sexualized, they
Mhm.
get like, what, you a punk, you gay, you
Mm.
this, you that. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So even the things that's we supposed to derive pleasure from
Right.
don't necessarily make us happy. And if it doesn't make us happy, then we ostracize. And
Mm.
so when I think about the question of does a man's happiness matter, I'm thinking internally, like him, happy as a individual. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. Like as an
Yeah.
individual, like what makes you happy, not what, you're supposed to
Right.
do to make, the everybody else happy to make you happy. What makes you happy? Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And so from that perspective, like that's where it doesn't, because people like women specifically, though the society isn't taught to talk to a man about his emotions.
Mm,
That's not what society tells us. Society does
absolutely.
not tell that our American society does not teach a man how to open up. And if and
Mm,
if and if men can't do that, then what makes it like their happiness of like who they are as a person outside of this notion of a man, if they can't do that,
no.
then nah, they ain't nobody worried about them being happy. They worried about maintaining the perception of what a man is and what makes that man happy. So that's why I would say that.
I like that. Hey, that was loaded too. I like that. I
Yeah, I
like
mean, I
that.
don't know. So
Sound like
that's
you
what I would
dug.
say.
Hey, you dug deep for that one.
Well, I mean,
That came from some
I don't think it's
emotion.
hard, but because that's what niggas ain't taught. Niggas ain't taught that. Like, I mean, even in my relationship, like I'm the talker. I'm the like, let's talk
Hmm.
about how we feel type nigga, right?
Right.
And I chastise myself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I call myself. I make jokes like I'm the woman type. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm,
even do that.
right, right, right.
So yeah, it's one of those things. So it's like I mean, and I think even you recognize that men aren't, you know, people. You like, have you ever been told to, find out how a man feel? Like, is that something that,
No,
like, as a
no,
black woman, like coming up, was that ever something that was just as
never,
important?
never,
Yeah.
never
So
have I ever seen it. I've always seen, and actually that was actually critical, even with me dating, me thinking, I was it was an offset. I would get if I was upset, and I would look for him to do everything he could in his power to make sure everything was okay, because that is his job, and that was my mentality. And then me, if the tables was turned and he was upset, he had to get over it. You know,
yeah,
deal with it. You're a man.
yeah,
Are you sensitive if you cry? Are you sensitive if you know, you
yeah,
begging me, or you doing this and doing that? It was like certain things, and I had to grow up. Now this was young. I was young. I was 19, 20.
you know
But
what I'm
I
saying?
had to
Yeah,
grow up. I mean, that's what society told me. Like, you have to do everything to make sure I'm okay. But then when the tables turn, what am I doing to make sure you're okay? No, you're
right.
a man. Suck it up. You know.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
definitely
and
what
and
society.
yeah, and so that's really where really where it's speaking from. Even like, I mean, even coming up, shout out to Tez, my cousin. When we would even Mike, shout out to Tez and Mike. I was they would do this shit where, when we would do our thing, when we would talk about women, like my conversation was a little different, I guess.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the way that they would make fun of me, it was like when we talk about girls, they would always say, I would be like, I really like this one, but I really like this one. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't recall me ever sounding like that or talking
Nah,
like
that
that.
definitely sound like you. Nah.
Nah. But I mean, but that was the thing, because I actually had emotions towards multiple girls. It was just like, and trying to figure out was difficult for me. It was like, nigga, you got emotions. Like, all you supposed to be doing is hitting it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousins though. Like, don't
Hey,
shout
look
out to
though,
shout
but
out to
that's
Tez and
real
Mike.
though. Like, if you hear about like growing up, like you would hear like the women were sheltered and catered to in a certain way, that in a certain degree that a man wasn't, or a little boy wasn't. Like, they say the boys get the date faster than girls because of certain things that they wanted him to get ready for. And oh, he wouldn't bring home the baby, the girl does. And he can go out and do whatever, he can stay out late. They was building him up to be a strong man with no emotions, and building her up
Mm-hmm.
to be an emotional, submissive, maternal woman. And it's crazy because that is true. Like, even like, it's basically unbeknownst to actually women and men, when they actually raising children, they actually do those things. And I've heard a lot of people. I have a Hispanic
Your daughter
friend that
gonna be a
told me.
hippie, boy. You gonna have, who your kids gonna remind me of before you
Who
get
was
into your
that?
your breakdown. Your daughter gonna be a Willow Smith. That's a
Oh.
young your daughter gonna be, because it's like, just even, what I'm saying, just like when you talk about, because I think that's what's unique to our generation is we actually taking some time to step back and think like, what the fuck am I passing to my kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my mama did it, but do I need to do it?
All the
You know what
time,
I'm saying?
all the
I know my daddy
time.
did that shit, but do I need to tell
Yeah,
my kid that shit? You feel me?
yeah.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
I think that's like, I mean, because I got a son on the way. You feel me? He'll be here in
Hmm.
November.
Ah,
And
congratulations! He gonna be a Scorpio like his dad.
yeah, yeah. Nah, but you not so, the Scorpios don't like each other, so that's what I'm like.
That's crazy.
But I mean, but
Dang,
it's more
look
of
at that.
a, I don't know. I like Scorpios. It's like a competitive. I'm gonna compete with myself, but but
Yeah,
it, but it got me thinking though, like, just like, what am I gonna pass to that nigga? Like,
right,
what am I?
right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think the one thing that is, a lot of the stuff that we talking about now is something that's gonna play a role in, like,
Absolutely.
like what? And this is the last thing I say, and I'll let you get it in. I lucked up because, like, being in a blended family, I had a lot of women in my life that showed a
Mm,
lot of affection. Now, my mom, she was a worker. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So she wasn't the most affectionate, but I had like three grandmas. You know what
Oh
I'm
wow.
saying? And so
Dang.
yeah, I'm blended family. You know how that go.
Right, right, right.
So it was one of them things where, somebody telling me they love me, and even my pops like telling me he loved me and hugging me and doing all of that shit, like that was the norm. You feel me?
Mhm.
Like people showing love was the norm. So
Right.
for me, it was like, of course I can talk about how I feel. Shit, like,
Mhm.
what I mean? It's that. So I looked up, and I'm gonna try to pass that on to my son. But yeah, like that's me on
That's a
that hoe.
blessing. That's definitely a
Uh,
blessing.
but go ahead. Let's hear your thesis. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Let's see.
listen.
Oh yeah, let's hear
I,
your dissertation like a motherfucker.
I'm about to get my dissertation in. All
Well, let
right.
me
So
set it up for
listen.
you. Let me set it up for you. All
All right. Give me something. Give me something.
right. So this question is to the over 30 holistic expert, Tisha Marie. Answer the
Um,
question: does a man's happiness matter in a relationship or in society in general?
my absolute honest answer is absolutely yes. It does.
It does matter.
Absolutely. All right.
Elaborate.
And my elaboration is I think, and I got some good points to make. First, I know a lot of times, and oftentimes, us as people, we get so caught up into our bias on subjective experiences that we really forget what society and how society has molded us as people to believe a certain perspective or propaganda. However, I want to point out a few things that society has done for years and years and years, and actually still prominent to this day. So we got to understand that, first of all, first and foremost, is we were taught that God is a man. Now, when you actually make that correlation that a man is a God, that actually has so many other things that come with it. Being known that the creator
Mm-hmm.
God is a
Mm-hmm.
man, is a male. So whatever comes to mind when you say the word God, if you don't get royalty, everything is at your mercy.
Hmm.
Everyone is treating you the way you want to get treated. They treating you like
I don't think they grasping that though.
they ain't grasping that. Let me go.
Bring
Let
it
me
back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
break it, break it, bring it back, bring it
Let's
back.
talk about what does it mean when you say that God is a man?
God is a man. So listen, all right, I'm talking about when you talk about God as a man, you refer to this society being patriarchal. We talking about they already created the man and the male notion to be catered to and be uh
God, like,
basically godlike.
yeah,
You're basically treated like a god as a
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Then we move forward to society being and I'm reading off my notes, so bear with me,
Nah, it's
people.
all good.
All
Handle your business.
right. So
Listen, you don't got to
basically,
be embarrassed about being prepared.
I'm
Shit.
prepared. I'm prepared. I came with the sauce today. So
Yeah.
anyway, so um we got so many privilege in this world. It tends to and being granted to man, and the freedom in this world is geared towards man. And you got to understand that all the presidents of the United States is a man. Now you got God, then you go to the United States as a president. That's the next thing towards royalty
Yeah.
being geared towards
Yeah.
all men. It has never been a female president.
Yeah. It's like who
So
over the president? You got like God, and then you got like this space, and then like president.
a president, yes. So like a
Yeah.
man, and basically showing women that basically we have to be at their mercy, and we have to cater to them, because obviously these are basically heterosexual men, presumably, um, and we
I
gotta.
mean, if they not, that's cool too.
It's cool too. It's nothing, no, nothing against
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
It's love for everybody.
absolutely. But all and then you have the industry, the beauty industry, geared
Yeah.
towards women making themselves valuable, presentable, accessible, all to men. Beautiful for what? A man. All the marketing is geared towards making her sexualizing and all these things women for a man. You got
Mm.
the porn industry. 80% of the porn industry is geared towards men. 80%
Shit.
is geared
Just
towards
80?
men. Yeah,
Just 80?
80%
Shit.
geared towards
I'm
men. I
thinking
mean,
it to
then you
be
got
up in
all
the
the
90s
others.
range. Yeah.
You got the
I'm thinking
others
it's
who you like. But
I mean, I'm
look,
just
see,
saying it's
yeah,
porn. Like,
I hear
yeah.
it from the men. Like the man said he think it's more. So you think about like it's for man pleasure for him, his happiness. Then you got the body industry. I mean, you got like the exercising and all the exercise videos, all the things. All they sexualize it so much and exploit women so much. Their bodies, their all these things geared towards men. I mean, you have all these women doing all kinds of crazy things to their bodies to please the man. So then you move on towards that, and then
Oh
you
yeah, you
have,
got it. You got it bullet pointed.
hey, I do. And then you have like women, like I stated earlier that women are being told to have maternal attributes just to please a man. She's told to be wifey material. She's told to that there's actually women that can't get jobs in a hierarchy because it's a man holding that position, and she have to basically work her way up and accept a lesser pay because of the man has already assumed that position of that hierarchy, and the only way she can work her way up is to please him, basically. I mean, that's what the TV shows us. They show what can you do for me type of situation to get the same exact pay. Not to mention the fact that we just got voting rights, what, 100 years after men. We just got. I mean, like we had to fight for everything in this society over a man and his pleasure and him being catered to, his happiness being catered to. And
Yeah.
women had to fight. But then anyway, we go past this, and we're not gonna talk about all the other stuff because I had like women being men's helpmates in the Bible and their bodies being objectified and sexually exploited and all these other things.
The
But
hypersexualization and all
yes,
that
yes,
shit.
all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things that we could talk about. But you actually touched on that a lot, so we talked about that a little bit. We
Yeah,
did
yeah,
touch.
we got into that. We got into that a
Yeah.
little
Now,
bit.
now, statistically,
Okay.
statistically,
This is what I'm
64.
interested to hear. Yeah.
All
This is
right.
what I'm interested to
So
hear.
this is the Census Bureau, and they said statistically, 64% of Americans say they are happy in relationships. Of
Okay.
that 64, 54 were men. 54%, I'm sorry, were men.
So 54 of the 64%
Yes,
that of the people that said they were happy
were
were
men.
men.
Were men. So
Damn.
yes, they were happy in relationships because their woman made them feel like they were wanted in relationships and they were catered to in relationships. Now, they were all men. Then you move past that, and it said, in the sex lives, more men are happier with sex than women are. More men are pleased in sex than women in their
I believe it.
relationships,
I believe it.
because you got to understand, it's like I think the number is like one out of every eight female receives an orgasm during sex, and every man, just about every man, receives an
Oh
orgasm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sex is done once.
Yeah,
Yeah, sex is done after
it's
you know.
done once the man
Once it's
receives
in,
what.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Once it's in.
it's
But you
like
know what? What's crazy is that I'm actually embarrassed by this. This is like this actually makes me more self conscious about, you know what I mean? Because it's like to know that this is a stat that always bothered the fuck out of me. To know that women were so unpleased.
yes,
To
yes.
know that, bro, like once that, like it's like niggas ain't, there is no bar.
It
There
says
is
right
no bar.
here, it says the happiest people on this earth are single women with no children. Those are the happiest people statistically on this earth, with single women with no children. They said a woman that is married is more unhappy than a married man.
Damn.
This is statistics, people. These are statistics. Now, it says,
This makes niggas self conscious.
yeah,
Cause it's
and
like, yo, but you know what? What's funny about this entire conversation is that I've always said, like, I feel like I really came into myself in college because like I was always like a really shy nigga. You feel
mhm.
me? Like in terms of talking to girls, so it was like I don't know what to say. Cause I mean, part of the reason, but I've always valued words.
Mhm.
I've always valued words.
Mhm.
So a part of the reason was I never wanted to like say just anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, like I never just want like
Just to be
I
talking, just to be
value
talking.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
value niggas like Will Smith, like Fresh
Mhm.
Prince. Like it gotta be some slick shit. If you're gonna
Right.
step to it, you gotta say something smooth. You feel me? Like, girl, your legs must be tired.
What?
Cause you've been running through my mind all day. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? Shit like
no, you
it
didn't do that one, did
it gotta be that smooth. You feel me? And so what I found out was since I naturally could talk, I could just hold conversations. And that would it once and then I would talk to sisters after the fact and I would find out the reason why they liked me. One of the things they liked about me is that they could talk to me,
you?
that we could actually hold a conversation.
Mhm.
And then the more like I kind of looked into it, like investigated, I found out that like yeah, niggas don't even know how to talk. Like niggas don't
Oh
even know how to
yeah,
converse.
it's definitely that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, the bar is so fucking like for niggas, the bar is so low, and then we don't even know it because you're not taught to give a fuck.
No, it's it starts with so much of the childhood influences and environment, and it spills over into actually dating, and they are already from childhood taught to have this certain aura about themselves. So, do you? That's my question to you. Do you feel that men kind of bring it on themselves to not be happy in a relationship? Because they have this coming into the relationship, they have this demeanor, and they actually kind of are teaching the women how to treat them.
I will say that. I will say that because I think when when we trying to fit into like a mold and not really just kind of be like kind of go with what feel right with us
Mhm.
is always it's gonna have disastrous consequences. Like
Mm.
most men are trying to fit within some type of perspective. Like the brothers that responded to the question, it was like, you know, it's okay if my happiness is put to the side. Yes, I throw,
Mhm.
because those things, as long as my family, as long as this.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Right.
even just like you say with sisters, like that maternal instinct is what they think is valuable. Same thing with
Mhm.
men, like that paternal instinct, that paternalist,
Mhm.
that not even paternal, patriarchal instinct. And
Mhm.
and I don't think men are aren't instinctively patriarchal. Like we are
Mhm.
instinctively protective, just like women are
Mhm.
instinctively protective. Like I
Mhm.
think just with things you care about, you're instinctively
Yeah, with
protective.
it. Yeah, yeah.
But what happens is we frame that want that need to be be a protector. We frame
Mhm.
that as uh you know patriarchy because we attach other
Mm.
things to it that aren't as productive, and so we attach like devaluing our own happiness to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we
Right.
attach, kind of always trying to put on this tough face instead of being able to be emotionally available to it, and that's a part of the
Mhm.
problem. Like just because you're a
Yeah.
provider don't mean that you need to become emotionally unavailable. And I think
Unavailable. Yeah.
one of the more interesting things that came out recently that's went viral on social media was a conversation between Nikki Giovanni and why do I always forget this nigga name? And I know James Baldwin.
Mm.
The
Okay.
conversation between Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin, where James Baldwin is saying, this, he's talking about giving the black woman the truth. Like when I come
Mm.
home, I give you the truth. I give you what
Mhm.
I really feel. I give you this.
Mhm. I
But
love some
and
James
it,
Baldwin. Shout out to James
yeah,
Baldwin.
and then Nikki Giovanni's like, nah, you lie to the white man. They get the best of you.
Mm.
You put on the airs for the white man. You put you put yourself in a position where you like like let me look pleasant for the white man. Let the white man get the
Mhm.
best of me.
Mhm.
So we go from saying let the white man gets the best of me, and I'm gonna be nice and smile for the white man, but then for my woman, I gotta be aggressive. I gotta be
Mm.
frustrated because the world. I gotta show you what the world has
Oh
done to me.
man. Oh man.
That shit ain't cool.
And
Like
then what does
nah.
she pick up from that though? What do you think a woman picks up from that behavior from a man? Do you feel like she actually just basically been, molded and over time it's like it becomes a little bit of a what word am I looking for? It becomes a little bit of a moment where the audacity of you to get upset for me not knowing what makes you happy because you taught me all these years.
Well, I think it's just assumptions that we've made. Cause
Mm,
even when we talk about marriage, like I think one of the things that I take pride in is knowing my wife.
right,
You know what I mean? Like I
right,
think
right,
the
right.
we assume to know things about people, not really knowing them though.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like it's like we take these specifically men. It's like it's the things that I want to know about you, and that's what we
right,
taught, and that's a part of the problem. That's what we
right.
taught. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's certain things about masculinity that you aren't supposed to be like you aren't supposed to display masculinity in certain
Mm.
instances. Masculinity and femininity is a balance.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Look at you.
So yeah, nah. Go
Look
ahead,
at
chime in. Don't
look
have
at
me in
you.
here
Look at
ranting,
you.
girl.
Look at
Shit.
you. Nah, I like that. Now you talking about the balance. I completely and
Because
also
nah,
I
cause you
want to
can't tell me
say,
you know about that astrology and all that shit. So
hey,
when the niggas
look.
say masculinity and femininity is a balance, you supposed to,
Hey, look,
yeah,
that yin
yeah,
and that yang. If y'all really want to look up yin yang. But anyway, I really want to say get down to actually a man knowing himself and knowing what actually makes him happy. Basically, getting out of the doctrines and the philosophies and the religions and all the things that encrypted and society has influenced him with, and actually getting to know himself, to actually know what makes him happy, to actually enforce that, or you know teach the woman, and knowing his love language and knowing what makes him smile, as opposed to what he was told that was supposed to make him happy. And he
I
was
think what you just said right there, that's another word that's associated with us. Like our generation has been using that a lot. I've even heard niggas use that shit on like sports debate shows.
what
Love
was that?
language, love
Oh,
language.
love language.
Yeah,
Yes,
like that's some over
very
30 shit.
imperative.
That's
That's
some,
definitely,
just to frame it. Love
yeah,
language is some over 30 shit. Like maybe some older
definitely.
motherfuckers came up with it, but niggas, it was our generation that started putting that shit into actual
We
relationship
definitely, yeah.
shit. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
definitely imperative. I really think that for a man to know that and a woman to know that for her man, and vice versa. I think that's very imperative because honestly, it's gonna be a failure method if you really don't know it and you really don't apply it to your relationship. I mean, I think every relationship will literally fail if you're definitely just talking to a dead wall, or a brick wall, or a dead horse every day. Like, you're not gonna get through to a person if you're not speaking their language,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, I think that's extremely important, especially when we talk about, happiness, because I
Mhm.
think that's how you understand how to make somebody happy. Speak
Yeah.
their language. Just like shit, how do you get a point across to somebody who, that don't speak the same language as you? You figure out what,
Absolutely. You
how to do
figure out.
that. You learn,
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to do business in China, you learn Chinese, goddamn.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it don't
Absolutely.
matter what your love language is in terms of understanding the,
Mhm.
the people that you close to. Because like this was more some relationship advice shit. I mean, it
Mhm.
kind of got deeper into some
It got
more. So
deep.
we started breaking down, normative concepts of sexuality and gender and shit. But it get like that. It get like that. I mean, I would expect someone who was into the occult to be able to go into that. So that was dope. Any last little pieces you want to put to it? Kind of like put a little
um,
bow on it.
yeah, no, I mean, really, we really covered everything. I just wanted to let people know statistically, it seems seemingly men are happier in relationships. What does it say right here? I think it says, I want to read this too. It says, 71% of men versus 64% of women say that their relationship is very rewarding. So, and all these statistics is basically just cutting out, just basically saying that it seemingly men are more happy between 22 years or 25 years old and 44, more happy than women in relationships. So, um, to answer your question about men's happiness, I think is very important. I think in relationships, statistically, men are more happier because women are taught to educator, and I gave up a lot of points. If you really want to go back and look, I gave a lot of points, whether it's biblically that women are taught, and religion women are taught, and most religions are geared towards the man's happiness. We really, really want to get down to deep down into religion, and then just the society has proven to be what James Brown say. Help me out, help me out, help me out, help me out.
It's a man's world.
There we go.
This is a
So,
man's world.
if you
Yeah.
really, really want to actually get to the statistics and the facts, those are the facts. However, we made a lot of valid points where personal experiences play a huge role, and actually your personal happiness is very important in knowing yourself. So those are the facts, bulletins, and points that we made.
Yo, I do want to shout out the homie Marquise. He said the true measure of a man's happiness is for him to understand his purpose on earth for himself
Mm,
in contribution to the world and others. Also, it's important for men to control and understand desire and how it manifests into harmful attachments and ideals. And I think what he's speaking to is when I was talking about earlier in terms of that's one of my debate niggas. Shout out to my nigga Marquise.
shout out
What he
Marquise.
speak
That was pretty good.
yeah, yeah, he know a few things. Shout out to Keith. He actually starting a podcast. So I think it's the Gene Rousseau podcast, right? Keith, confirm that for your boy. But yeah, he's starting a podcast as well. It's a movement. We out here.
Yeah.
And but
Podcast.
to speak to what he was saying, when we talk about desire, that's the difference between like what the pleasures of the world
Mhm.
that we told to like this is what pleasures you and this is
Mhm.
what makes you happy. And I think
Mhm.
what Marquise is speaking to is knowing the difference between understanding your purpose beyond kind of what you told what your purpose should be.
Mhm.
And so when we talk about happiness, the one thing what I want to leave with the people is that when it comes to people in general, man or woman, like if you're not internally together, you can't do shit for nobody.
Mm.
Like you can't say I'm not happy, but I'm gonna make sure somebody else happy because
I agree.
like you just creating the worst situation for yourself and the people that you
Absolutely.
trying to be happy. You know what I'm saying? That you're trying to be together
Absolutely.
for. So at the end of the day, what you want to make sure that you do is you happy, be you, make sure
Be
you
you.
good.
Be
You know what I'm saying?
you. First, be
Shout out
happy.
to everybody was shitting on Jada Pinkett Smith, but hey,
Oh
she
God.
understood this shit. Jada Pinkett Smith
Hey,
understood that she needed to
she's
be
a
happy. And she used and the
she's a
niggas that she
wizard.
needed to use, she used them and juiced them and did
Hey,
and handled
listen.
her business.
And once you realize that this whole world is built off being used, you realize that you're gonna be used one day. When in one way or another, we are all connected some way, somehow. You're gonna be the, victim of being used in some way. And you might, it might hurt, it might sting you a little bit, but
Just a
hey,
little bit.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
but
all
hey, but
good.
we definitely appreciate y'all for joining the conversation. And definitely keep it
So,
going. The question of the week is the happiness of the man. You know what I'm saying? Is it valued in relationships and is it valued in real life?
yeah.
And like I said, I don't think it is. Teacher said definitely look at the statistics. You know what I'm saying? And Keith gave us a cool little breakdown. But again, y'all make sure y'all follow the page. We are on YouTube, the Over 30
Absolutely.
Podcast on YouTube. This episode was live. So if you want to go back, check it out, rewind, play it. We there. Natal charts. We will be doing them at you know what I'm saying. We do at least
Sometimes, yeah,
once a month.
we gonna put it in. Hey, I want to give a shout out though. I was told to give a shout out. I did not forget. I want to give a birthday shout out. Happy birthday to Jama Sanders, Josenberg, I think. I hope I'm saying your name right, Jama. But
The
happy
person
birthday,
that was
girl.
in Tisha's inbox that asked her to shout you out, we are shouting you
Yeah,
out today,
shout
girl.
out. Yes, happy
Even if we
birthday.
pronounce your name wrong, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Nah, happy birthday, girl. Hope you turning up, keep it lit. Happy birthday to everybody that was born today. Um, but yeah, let's go. Over 30
Yeah. So
podcast.
if y'all are wanting to get y'all natal chart read, follow the page. You know what
Follow
I'm saying?
us.
Follow the page. Hey, and if you are someone who got your natal chart read, buy Tisha, our over 30 holistic expert. If you got your natal chart read, go ahead, hit us with that motherfucking
Love it.
review.
Yes.
Post, you know what I'm saying, a status showing your
Your
love,
testimonial.
your
Yeah.
testimonial, tag the Over 30 podcast, tag Tisha
Please.
Marie. Y'all can leave me. Y'all don't gotta tag me. I ain't that important. I see it when you tag the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I just do all the technical shit in the background, but you know what I'm saying? And then she flashed out, but she go. Yeah, I was about to say, you
Hey,
dropped out real
my
quick, but
bad.
you back. Yeah,
My
yeah,
bad. I
you
got a
good.
phone call. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta let
Hey, so
people know to go
everybody
call.
that joined us, thank you for joining us. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna be back next week. Again, y'all look out for the over 30 question of the week. When y'all see we put it out there, go ahead and join the conversation, and then we'll make sure you include it. If you add some value, if you just talking bullshit, we're gonna ignore you. That don't mean that the people we ignored was all on bullshit. We just kind of picked the ones that was cool. But
Yeah,
TJ,
absolutely.
anything you want to say to the people before we close out?
Hey, I love you people. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. We had fun tonight. It was a good topic, good conversation. Like we said, follow us on Facebook at the Over 30 Podcast and hit us up on YouTube. Got a YouTube channel now, Over 30 Podcast. Just like and subscribe. And
And
I'll see you
I
over
do
there
want to
on all platforms.
I want to say this. You know what I'm saying? Before we close out, I know we talked about the Tory Lanes and all of that shit, but to, you know what I'm saying, the brother that got shot in in Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying, we definitely our
Mm,
prayers, you know what I'm saying, we hoping that the parrot him they said he was paralyzed from the waist down, was shot 8 times by the police. I mean, what
Jacob
more to be
Blake.
said? Ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yes, we talked about the Tory Lanes and the Meg situation, but because what we need to understand is that these things happen on spectrums, and if we're gonna be real
Yes.
about the shit that happened in the larger scale, we got to look at the smaller shit and be able to say that that's some fucked up shit too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
shout out to that brother,
absolutely.
to everybody
Yeah.
in Wisconsin that's rioting, that's tearing shit up. Shout out to everybody that's
Hmm.
that's doing their thing. And our prayers are
Absolutely.
for that brother and his family. Thank God he survived.
Yeah.
Thank God he
Yeah.
survived.
Thank God he survived.
But we
Yeah,
out this
prayers
thing.
up for Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. We out this thing though.